Hey guys, King of Charmanders here. Today I'll be your judge, your jury, and your analyst. And today I bring to you my old anti-meta team. The only team that actually, well, I am the only person to break Open Master League at one point. And so far it's never been done since because it's ridiculously hard because of Groudon, Palkia, freaking Zarude, and Zacian. All this other madness coming out in an Open Master League. And it just like... there's no way you can not do like a full anti-meta team without having some sort of meta in it. But as you see here, the reason why I'm showing this to you is because I got in like, I forgot like, what was it, like one comment where some guy was like, oh, every YouTube creator says they're the first one to do it. No, I'm literally the first one and I have proof. This is what happens when you have proof, you know what I mean? Yeah, you need like, yeah, this is like card on proof, and the OGs know, or everyone that actually like watched all the content way back in the day, back when Go Battle League first comes out, no, Kings of Charmanders were the first. And not only that, I actually got props from our Lord and Savior, PvPoke himself, because of my work and my ability to do so. As you see here, you remember, this is all the way back into Season 1. So this is Season 1 when Master League Classic first came out, before the, like, preseason, and then you have Season 1. But this is when Legend first came out. By the way, it was 420, so... oh, it was a great time. So, when the results came out for 420, as you see, PvPoke was like, King of Charmanders, you're G. And I got praised for him because of this. As you see here, one of these teams is not like the other. That's because, as you see here, whose team is this? Who made this team? Why is PvPoke saying something about my name? Oh, that's because I made a team that rivals and ties for the number 3 top team. This team is literally has no components of anywhere else. Does not feature any charmers or any legendaries that were super meta. As in, like, watch. There's no Giratina, no Dialga, no Melmetal, no freaking Togekiss. I made a super strong team, and I was like, let's freaking go. This was like the great... this is what put my name out there, and why everyone like knows me as like the Hydreigon user. Or whenever like Hydreigon gets put out, they're like, hey, King of Charmanders, look, I got a perfect Dano. Should I use this for Master League Classic? And I'm like, nowadays, Hydreigon's really fallen off the ladder just because of all the new meta that's come out. And there are ways for you to use it, but unless you're used to using it, it's incredibly difficult in freaking Master League Classic or Open Master League, which it was back in the day. So this is my proof, and yes, I was the first. No one can claim that. I have evidence. And yes, it's pretty cool. Like, this is when I actually started getting used to it, but then this is actually the first time I started playing around a lot with pvpoke.com too. So I was like, okay, you know, I want to find something, and I need to find something. And then like I put this together, and I was like, oh, freaking yay. The only anti-meta team to break Open Master League, not in the top 10, not utilizing any moves that were back in the day, because Shadow Ball and Focus Blast, I mean Shadow Salt, Shy Strike Mewtwo was #1. This one uses Focus Blast Mewtwo as well as Superpower Rhyperior. Usually Rhyperiors are running Surf because that's what PvPo, that's when the analysis and the data says you should use. I went off meta completely with the powerful moves and of course a freaking Hydreigon. So hasn't been done since, and that's because, like I mentioned, it's almost impossible to have an anti-meta team unless you're using super meta nowadays. Because people were using Mewtwo back in the day, but not as much as Dialga, Melmetal, or the combinations, just because they were super oppressive. And as you see here, I actually broke this one in two. So Mewtwo would, Mewtwo with Focus Blast was broken in because I was just blasting through shields. So using the Hydreigon Mewtwo core, I could get back from Steel types, and just back in the day, the Fairy type dominance wasn't so much, but this was a really sweet, it was a really sweet 5-0, so I hope, well, not 5-0, this team almost 5-0'd, so yeah. So again, I could probably find something, but it's gonna take way too long, and like I mentioned, it's almost impossible to do it unless you put a super meta. Anyways, my mental health tip for the day. My mental health tip for the day is to basically breathe. Deep breathing, mindfulness is it's King of Charmanders should probably deep breathe a little more. So real quick mental health tip, deep breathe. So deep breathe. Taking a deep breath allows you to break your feedback loop. At the same time, regulating your breath allows you to stay mindful. So it really helps out with anxiety, as well as, well, yeah, anxiety for the most part, but at the same time also Deep breathing actually helps you stay mindful, living in the present, so make sure you breathe. In and then out. Anyways, yes, here's my evidence, here's my proof. I'm going to use my old freaking anti-meta team, the innovator of the full anti-meta team back in Season 1. And we're going to see if it can do well. It almost 5-0'd. Keyword is almost, except when I got hard countered for the 5th battle. So I replaced it with a really sweet battle that is equally as worthy of my content and of my community. Appreciate you guys and hope you enjoy the battles. Alright, here are the battles. So, these are actually pretty nuts. I almost get there. I almost 5-0. Almost. Really disappointing. The 5th one I just get hard countered, but these are actually pretty sweet battles. I didn't expect Hydreigon to do this well in this current meta, just because Zacian is just such a pain in the booty. As you see here, we get a Mewtwo versus our Hydreigon. This is actually really great for us, because we resist both Side Strike, and we both resist Shadow Ball, if they have Shadow Ball. Back in the day, like I mentioned with this video, I popularized Mewtwo with Focus Blast. It used to be Shadow Ball as the #1 preferred move, and most people were actually using it. And then I streamed it, Mewtwo with Focus Blast, and started blasting through everybody's freaking shield. So anyways, I started blasting. Danny DeVito reference. And as you see, they tried to blast me with Shadow Mewtwo. And I was like, oh, okay. So, the good thing is I called the shield, because if that would have really sucked. You know, Goku's Spirit Bomb is very strong, and that would have sucked a lot. Especially a Shadow one, that's overkill. But, as you see here, we're able to take out that Shadow Mewtwo, and in comes Melmetal. We're in a little bit of trouble here. I'm gonna let Hydreigon go. It can't eat a superpower. Out just one, though, because after this, I want this Melmetal debuff so I can send in Rhyperior. They're likely gonna shield, and they don't. And I was like kind of confused. I was like, wait, why aren't you gonna shield? And I was like, my brain just kind of like went off, because I was like, wait, why not? Because you're debuffed and you don't know what I have in the back. So with Rhyperior actually does pretty well against Metagross. The only issue is you can't really eat a Meteor Mash. So this is gonna be a little sweaty here. I'm gonna have to time this right, but I'm gonna have to fire off a superpower or a Rock Wrecker, either one, and then make sure I blow my energy. And they're likely going to blow a shield. At least I hope they do, unless they're just saving both shields for their near dead Melmetal. As you see here, we grab a shield, and this Metagross is nearly dead. So all I have to really do is try to fast move down this Melmetal, or I have to send a Mewtwo to do some Side Strikes, because I'm in a really rough patch right now. Meteor Mash goes off. This will KO Rhyperior. I'm going to send in Hydreigon and attempt to fast move down. We need to Dragon Breath down, and we do. Hopefully, we can get to one freaking Dark Pulse. I would need to break that last shield just as a little, just in case, but it doesn't really matter anyways, just because Mewtwo has a pretty strong matchup against Melmetal. Doesn't look like it, but Side Strike does a butt ton of damage. We're going to grab the last shield. We're going to send in Mewtwo, and Mewtwo can eat like 4 rock slides. I believe like 3 rock slides before it goes down. So this is GG's, but as you see, pretty sweaty match. We did win the lead, however, yep, it's like 3. You can literally live like 3 rock slides. So Mewtwo is really good against Melmetal, and Side Strike still does big damage even though it's resisted, because Side Strike is so overpowered, and Mewtwo's attack is ridiculous. It's not over 9,000, but it's over like, what, 400, 300? I don't know, give or take. And that's GG's. As you see, that's win number 1. And I'm really happy, because I was like, oh, I didn't expect Hydreigon to do so well in this matchup, or just in this meta in general. You will see a Zacian play, and then it's going to be a painful. And as you see, we get a legend, and it's freaking, I was like, oh, great. And we get a Zarude. I'm like, wow, people are trying to be, like, dude, Zarude isn't spicy. It's literally, this thing's literally meta. Has a great match against Kyogre. Does pretty much what Hydreigon does, with the exception of not having double weakness to Charm, because it carries that grass typing. And we get a Zacian played into us, and this is actually pretty terrible. I'm attempting to time my fast moves correctly so I don't let them get any extra Snarl Stew. That's pivotal because of the fact that Wild Charge still hits like a truck. And because this dang thing has Snarl. So as you see, Side Strike goes through, does big damage, but we're going to have to eat one move here, or I can shield. It's really, yeah, I could do either one, but as you see here, I'm just going to eat it, and it's a Wild Charge. Wild Charge still does big damage, about half of Mewtwo's HP. Now this Zacian's going to have to be forced to use shields. So we're going to have to really figure out what we want to do here. So we're going to figure it out. I'm going to figure it out. We'll figure it out. As you see, Side Strike goes through, and then the Zacian is about to go ham. So I'm going to have to really be careful at like what my life choices are. Because I'm like, okay, I can let Mewtwo go, or I can keep shield advantage, and I choose to let Mewtwo go. So I was like, okay, Hydreigon can come in and then fast move down. Because here's the issue here is I'm going to shield another one, but I have a butt ton of energy on my Hydreigon now. So whatever comes in, I can choose to Flash Cannon, or I can Dark Pulse it down. Either way, I have a really strong matchup And I still have Rhyperior, I still have a ton of energy, and we have even shield scenario. So this is, I'm vibing pretty hard right now. I like this scenario. Unless they have something, like they have a Charm in the back, and I'm gonna cry. Zarude comes back in, and then I'm gonna eat the first move. So the ironic thing is, Hydreigon's actually the anti-meta Zarude because I effectively wall it. We resist Divine Whips, we resist Power Up, as well as Dark Pulse. And as you see here, it's funny because my anti-meta is actually, well, yeah, this stupid thing's meta. Flash Cannon will do heavy damage here. Hydreigon is going to Flash Cannon through shields like a boss. And as you see here, we managed to put this Zarude in the red. We get a Melmetal in here, and this is GG's. The reason why it's GG's is because, fun fact, I can actually eat 2 superpowers from this Melmetal. You will go into the red, but you'll have enough energy to get to 2 superpowers just because you triple resist the Thunder Shocks, as you see here. Superpower goes up. I elect not to shield the first one. I'm like scratching my head. Why did I do that? Because I have to shield the second one. You have to shield it anyways. I'm like, why? So this is a misplay by King of Charmanders. Like, I was guessing that they were going to do Rock Slide and then Superpower. So we're in even shields anyways. I'm going to double up right here as far as Superpower goes. This third one won't actually kill because you're double debuffed. Like I mentioned, you can actually eat 2 with the -1. Superpower goes off. It puts me in the red, but doesn't really do anything. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to farm down here. Double Superpower. I'm going to give it the big 1-2. The 2 Punch Man, you know, the double Saitama, the freaking, the Omaira no Shinjiru, the Nani, and then poof. Well, it's not that epic, because, you know, you didn't, well, you know, it's, you know, it's, when you do the Fist of the freaking North Stars, it's freaking, such an underrated old anime. I definitely recommend you watch it. One of the oldies, and then that freaking iconic line. Double Superpower goes through, the Dark Monkey goes down, and this is anti-meta. You're not anti-meta. You're meta. Literal freaking meta. And that's win number 2, which is kind of ironic. So, I don't think that was like the... No, was that the number 1 team? No, it was like the number 1 team, but it had a Melmetal instead of... I forgot what the other component was, but I think that's like the number 1 team. We lose the lead here. We get a Metagross into freaking Hydreigon, and they elect to switch out for some odd reason into a Snorlax. And I was like, why? So, well, this is what happens when legend... Well, this person's a legend, but most people don't know that Snorlax actually has a bad matchup against Hydreigon in 2 shield because you double resist Lick, and at the same time, I can eat a superpower. So they try to bait here, which I'm trying to predict, but like I mentioned, we still have a pretty good... We're vibing pretty hard right now. Snorlax gets beat by Hydreigon in a 2 shield, but most people don't know that because me, well, like, I'm like one of the only few that play, well, I innovated the anti-meta strat in freaking season 1, so Snorlax was very popular back in the day, and you actually saw it a lot, so that's why I liked using Hydreigon against Snorlax is such a great matchup, or like for you anyways. As you see, we're able to Dark Pulse. I'm gonna shield this one, get all this Dark Pulse energy, and then I'm gonna be able to throw it at that Metagross in the back. And we're gonna get farmed down here, but that's okay, because we keep alignment. I want alignment because 1, I have Mewtwo, 2, I have Rhyperior still, and I don't want to get Rhyperior trapped into Metagross just because, like I mentioned with the last battle, Metagross, I mean, freaking Rhyperior can't really eat a Meteor Mash because it does big damage. We're going to fire off this Dark Pulse, and then this should grab a shield. And it doesn't grab a shield from the Dragonite, and I'm kind of scratching my head as to why. So I send a Mewtwo, and then I'm like, okay, so this is freaking hilarious. This is freaking hilarious. Watch what happens here. So I'm going to fire the Psy Strike. If they don't shield this is fine, but I find people they're either gonna make 1 or 2 decisions. Shield the first one or not shield the second one. So as you see, they don't shield here, but I go straight for the Focus Blast. Because, you wanna know why I'm gonna go straight for the Focus Blast? Because I predict King of Charmander's like, you know what, you're probably not gonna shield the second one, dude. You know it's a Psy Strike, you don't think I have Shadow Ball? Or this is a Shadow Ball and they're just like, okay, whatever, you know I got 2 shields. Or they're gonna go for the 2 shield flex. On this day, I will summon all of the energy in the air. I'll put my hands in the air like I just don't care. And then I'm gonna summon the Spirit Bomb from hell. And then this is gonna KO this freaking Metagross through 2 freaking shields. And then our opponent actually quits out here. And I'm like, I don't know why. I don't know why, because this isn't essentially over. Yeah, it's not really over yet. Because, like, well, it kind of is, but, like, there's still play for my opponent, so that's GG's. So, kinda, not really, but that's GG's. As you see, that was a sweet 3rd battle. We're 3-0 right now. And then this is the big 4-0. As you see, like I mentioned, Hydreigon is beastly. And when you break it into the freaking, well, yeah. Well, it's not that great in this meta. It actually did really well. Like, it did really well, surprisingly. When I played it, like, I was getting, like, 4-1s and, like, 4-1s. I almost 5-0'd in this one. And, like, it was really great. This is one of the old matchups I had from before. Because Kyogre and Giratina were popular leads back in the day. This is why I love freaking Hydreigon. And then we use the old school farm down strat. So back in the day, the reason why this team was so interesting is because usually Rhyperiors are carrying Surf. I was the only person for... Well, actually, no. Most people weren't using Superpower. Jay Devin... Way back in the day, he's an OG PvPer. Freaking, he's the one that popular. I saw him using Superpower, and he was like, you know what, Superpower, I like Superpower better. And he was like, I got it from him. So, most Rhyperiors are running Surf, not Superpower. But I like Superpower just because you can do that double up play like you saw it against the Zarude. We do that full farm down play, and now we're going to be able to Rock Wrecker here. Now, some people don't know that you can't get to 2 Rock Wreckers, as you see here, so I'm gonna fire Superpower. Either I grab the second shield, or because I'm not debuffed, this still does a decent amount of chip damage. Fire off the Superpower, punch it in the face, and as you see here, we're vibing pretty hard right now. Now, the thing about Kyogre versus Hydreigon, secret about this matchup. Kyogre in the 2 shield against Hydreigon, or at full power, will never, I repeat, never, it will never get to a Blizzard. Because it takes too long. Unless Kyogre has, I believe, 2 or 3 waterfalls worth of energy, you can't actually get to a Blizzard against Hydreigon. You have to go Surf. That's why Hydreigon has such a sweet match against Kyogre. They will eat the Psy Strike here because we got Palkia versus our Mewtwo, and I'm vibing pretty hard right now. All I have to do is line up my Hydreigon against that Kyogre, and this is GG's. The reason I don't elect to shield here is as I should be able to get to a second Psy Strike, that or they'll blow all that Aqua Tail energy before I go down. And as you see here, we'll get to the Psy Strike. It doesn't really matter because Hydreigon should be able to fast move down that Kyogre, and this is pretty much GG's. I'm going to take down the big free really rare right now with a 3-headed dragon from death. We take out the Palkia, and then we get the Kyogre. And now I'm not going to fire any charge move here. All I'm going to do is literally just Dragon Breath down. There's no reason for me to fire a charge move. Dragon Breath damage should KO this freaking Kyogre, and that's GG's. Dragon Breath should take it out, and then we don't have to shield anything because like I mentioned, you will never get to a Blizzard because it takes way too freaking long. It will not be like the episode of Game of Thrones, and this will not. Actually, the last episode of Game of Thrones was incredibly disappointing. That episode sucked. So, spoilers. If someone told you the ending is bad, I'm not going to say anything because some of you haven't watched Game of Thrones. The ending is freaking bad. Yeah, it's pretty freaking terrible. Anyways, on to the 5th battle. So, I lose to a hard counter team on the following match. We get a fellow legend, but I wanted to feature this one because it was really nuts. Because I always usually feature 5 battles, unless it's just like, oh, I lose the 5th video for some reason. So, we get a Ho-Oh into Hydreigon. So this actually isn't a healthy matchup for me because here's the thing. This thing will get to a Brave Bird faster than I do to a Dark Pulse. So, even though I'm resisting these Incinerates, this actually isn't a good matchup for us. Brave Bird will do heavy damage, and you could possibly bait me with Earthquake. But usually it's Brave Bird because Earthquake takes more energy. So they Earthquake me, and this is terrible because I'm like, oh crap, I'm kind of in trouble. So I'm gonna fire Dark Pulse here. My idea in this scenario is, okay, maybe I could do one of 2 things. One, take it to the zeros, and then have to just give up Hydreigon. Or this guy is just going to let Ho-Oh go. As you see, that's the most annoying glitch of all time. It like catches up. So like they get an Incinerate plus a freaking Burb. And I'm like, really dude? Like stop playing catch up please. And we get Zacian. Now here's why I love freaking people that switch Zacian. You know why? Because since you are so meta, and you know, Zacian players don't really know that Hydreigon has Flash Cannon. So get blasted by the Flash Cannon. And it won't put you in the red. And I'm going to send in Mewtwo to catch the close combat. Because I was like, this is a close combat. Watch. I'm going to catch a close combat. It is resisted. You are -4 and I will farm you down. And now I'm going to oh my god, that was like nuts. I was like vibing. I was like, when I was doing this, my sister was doing launch. She's like, why are you look so happy? And I'm like, I just got a close combat. Get flexed on using super meta, son. Psy Strike will go through. They will have to shield this because Zekrom will take big damage from it. And they should get to a crunch. However, I should be able to get to a Psy Strike because it takes forever for Dragon Breath to charge. We get to the Psy Strike. This will do big damage against Zekrom. And then here's what's happened. Zekrom's going to have to crunch me down. We have a near-dead Zacian, and I'm in full control of this matchup. But watch what happens. King of Charmanders is such an... Oh my god. I'm going to send in... Well, actually, you're going to see what happens here. So, I'm going to send in Hydreigon. I'm likely getting a Wild Charge or Crunch because I resist everything. So I send in Hydreigon, and they're going to Fire Move, and then watch what's going to happen. I'm going to predict that they're going to switch into their Ho-Oh. Wild Charge goes off, they're going to switch into Ho-Oh. Watch what happens. Wait for 1, 2, they're going to try to farm me down, and then I switch. 3, bink, and then what they do is because you could get to an Earthquake, however, you don't want an Earthquake, you know, like, watch, I catch the Brave Bird. Haha, GG's, oh my god, flick so hard. All we have to do is Mud Slap down, and that's gonna KO because Earthquake takes too much energy. You need one more Incinerate before you can get to an Earthquake. We Mud Slap down, and that's GG's. I hope y'all enjoyed that final battle. So we didn't 5-0, but we had a battle worthy of a 5-0 if I didn't get hard countered the battle before. I hope y'all enjoyed it. Freaking Hydreigon is a beast. And that's GG's. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. As you see, Hydreigon, some people were asking me, does this still work? Kinda. Not really. It's really hard. You have to really discern for which scenarios you really need to farm with Flash Cannon, etc. I mean, it still can work, but like, as I mentioned, it still did pretty well for me. And it actually does like 3-2, 4-1 pretty consistently in Open Master League. In Master League Classic, the issue is it's just ridiculously hard to run. Especially with the way you have to navigate the newer meta nowadays. It's like, it's really painful. And I really wish that we weren't forced to play Master League for the next like 7 days. Because you can wait till like roll over to Sinnoh Cup, but it's still really painful and annoying that we have to do this. So again, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hope you guys enjoyed the battles. Hydreigon is still a beast. And even though I made this team, I kind of let it off, and I was like, I really wish it was a lot more prominent. The issue is what happens when you don't limit a meta or balance a meta. This is what happens. Old ideas just essentially get kicked out the door. Like, I could never replicate this ever again just because of how stupidly powerful the meta in Master League Classic is. Do me a huge favor, please like and subscribe. Now that you know, for those of you that don't know, that King of Charmanders is a boss team builder, one of the best in the entire freaking world, and the only battler in the freaking universe to break open Master League at one point with a full anti-meta team. Please like and subscribe. It's totally free next to the 2 Charmanders right there. You can easily subscribe by putting your mouse over that little sub box. Really appreciate my current subscribers. Good luck on your Go Battle League sets, and I will see you guys on the next video.